Hello class 7, how are you all doing? Children, let us begin with the answers of your third assignment. Okay, your third assignment was from the poem A Boat Beneath a Sunny Sky, which was written by Lewis Carroll. And in the assignment from page number 13, exercise A, first and second sentences were given. Exercise A was true or false. Okay, so the first statement was the poet describes a beautiful summer. The poet describes a beautiful English summer. And the statement is a true statement or a false statement? It is a true statement. Next, the children are unwilling to listen to the poet's story. This statement is false. Okay. Now from B exercise, first question was given. Where do you think the poet and children are? Answer. The poet and children are in the countryside and they are enjoying a boat ride. Okay. From exercise C, that is reference to context, first part was given and the statement was children three that nestle near, eager eye and willing ear. Now the first question was, what does the poet mean by an eager eye and a willing ear? Answer. Eager eye means that the children were looking at the poet with curiosity, and a willing ear signifies or means that they were eagerly waiting to hear the wonderful stories that the poet was about to tell them. Okay. Second part was, where are the children? The children are on a boat. What pleases them? Listening to magical stories of Wonderland pleases them. What does the word nestle signify? The word nestle signifies sitting close to the poet. From page number 14, a part of vocabulary exercise was also given and it contained a table with words and its antonyms. Antonyms are Viparit Shabd, Vilom Shabd. Okay, so you were asked to match the words with its antonym. So let us check your answers. Number 1 is moderate. The opposite or the antonym of moderate is extreme. Okay. Next, ignore. And the antonym of ignore is notice. Plentiful. The antonym of plentiful is scarce. S-C-A-R-C-E. Scarce. Vanish. Vanish is disappear. Okay. So the antonym of vanish is appear. Number 5, captive. Captive, antonym of captive is free. Captive means to keep someone in prison or to keep someone without their permission, to hold them back without their permission. Okay, so that's called captive. So the opposite of captive is free. Number 6, attack. And the opposite of attack is defend. Okay, when somebody attacks you, you try to save yourself from them. That's called defend. Number 7, ancient. The antonym of ancient is modern. Next, number 8 is wax. Here, wax means increase in something. Okay, increase in amount of something. So the opposite of wax is wane. W-A-N-E, wane. So wax, the synonym of wax is increase. Wax means to increase and wane means to decrease. Okay, so the antonym of wax is wane. Number 9, achieve. The opposite of achieve is fail. Okay, and the last one is exhale. Exhale means to breathe out. So when you breathe in, what is it called? It's called inhale. That you have read in your science also. Okay, so this was your third assignment, and let us come back to the remaining stanzas of the poem. So far, what we have read in the poem, we have read that it's the first two stanzas which we have read is the memory part of the poem, where the poet is remembering the good old days. One day particular when he went on a boat ride. It was evening time. The month of July was it. The sky was quite sunny. So even though it was evening time, it was quite warm. So he was on a boat ride with three children, one of whom was Alice, and the poet was very fond of Alice. So he is remembering that day, and he says that, and he remembers that that day the children were sitting very close to him on the boat, and they were looking at him with curiosity, and they were all ready. They were waiting eagerly for him to tell them a beautiful, wonderful story. Okay. Now, in the first stanza, there are few words which symbolizes something. For example, boat symbolizes time, sunny sky symbolizes childhood. Okay, and the flow of river, or you can say the boat sailing along the river shows the passage of time. Okay, so in the first two stanzas, because the poet was remembering about that day, he was feeling very happy. He was that the thought was very loving thought. And now we will start with the third stanza. For that, you have to open page number 12. Long has paled that sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die. Autumn frosts have slain July. The tone in the first two stanza was a happy tone because the poet was cherishing the memories of the day when he was on a boat ride. He was loving the memory. He was remembering the way the children used to sit close to him and listen to his stories. But in the third stanza, the tone changes and it becomes little sad, because now from in this stanza the poet is thinking about the present time. He knows that a lot of time has changed, and that is why a lot of time has passed, and a lot of things have changed, and that is why he says long has paled that sunny sky. He says with the passage of time, the brightness of the sunny sky has paled. Now remember, sunny sky signified childhood. So in other words, the poet is saying that with the passage of time, the childhood days of, or the childhood phase of the children is over, and they have moved on. Because they have grown up, they have left their childhood days behind, they have grown up, they have entered a new life, they have moved out of countryside, they have now gone to city in order to continue with their life, and as a result they get to meet new people, they have to socialize, they get busy with their own life, they have to fulfill few of their goals, few of their aspirations. As a result, they do not have much time to think about their past life, about the good old childhood days. So that is why, because they have become quite busy with their new life, echoes fade and memories die. The good old day, the memory, the beautiful, wonderful memory of the childhood days has started to die, and the echoes of the laughter and the fun-filled talks that the children used to have with each other and with the poet, it has also started to fade away. Autumn frosts have slain July. Autumn frost means the winter season has taken over July, that is the summer season. And slain means, in other words, the poet is saying winter, that is, winter here signifies adulthood, and July, that is summer season, it signifies childhood. So the poet is saying that with the passage of time, the childhood stage of the children is over and the adulthood has taken over. As a result, the children have started forgetting the fun, the enjoyment that they used to have in their childhood days. Still she haunts me phantom wise, Alice moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes. In the fourth stanza, the poet is saying that Alice has grown up with the passage of time. She is no more a child. She has grown into an adult. but still the childhood life of, or the childhood image of Alice is what haunts him even now as a phantom. Phantom means like a ghost. He is still haunted by the memories of Alice as a child, and because she has grown up, he cannot see her as a child anymore. The only way he can see her as a child, he can see Alice as a child, is when he is sleeping. In his dreams, is he able to relive the time he has spent with Alice when she was a child. So the poet is saying that at the present time, even though Alice has grown up, he is still haunted by the childhood image of Alice, which he misses the most. Children yet the tale to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near. The poet says that now also and in the future also there will be children who would be willing to sit with the poet, will be willing to listen to the wonderful stories that the poet will be telling them. The poet says that there will be such children even in the future, but he feels that none of those children can ever replace the memory of Alice. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the summers die. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam, life, what is it but a dream? Here the poet is telling us the childhood days. The poet tells us how a child spends his time. They live in a wonderland, they live in their own world. During childhood days, children have a world of their own. They create their own world. They are least interested with reality. They are not concerned about the problems of, or the practicalities of the real life. They spend time with their friends. They create their own imaginary friends. They love listening to stories, and sometimes they like a story so much that they recreate it in their place. And that is how children spend their life during the childhood days, and they do not even realize when their childhood days are over. That thing is said by dreaming as the summers die. Living in their own world, creating their own world, enjoying themselves with their friends, with their imaginary friends, with their real friends. They do not even realize when their childhood days are over and their adolescence begins. In the last verse, the poet is talking about life. The poet compares life, compares the passage of time with the flow of a river. Ever drifting down the stream. Stream here signifies passage of time. So the poet says that with the passage of time, the life keeps on moving ahead. Just as a river never flows back, same way life doesn't go back. Lingering in the golden gleam. Golden gleam here refers to the memories. With the passage of time, life keeps on moving ahead. It never goes back. The moments which we had lived in our past, when we were children or when we became a little, grown up, those moments, those experience, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, we cannot relive those experiences, we cannot relive those moments in our present life, in a present time. But those memories, those experiences remained with us in our mind as a memory. And that is why the poet says, he questions us, that is the reader, he questions the readers that what is life? Is it not a dream? Because people dream, we dream with closed eyes. We cannot dream with open eye. And when we are fast asleep, we are not in touch of the real world. We are not in the real world. We are in a subconscious world. So the poet says that with the passage of time, many things change, people change, their nature changes. Okay, with the passage of time, life teaches us a lot of things. As a result, we evolve. Every human being, when they are child, every person when he is a child or she was a child, has innocence. They are very naive. Children are very innocent. They believe everybody. They have faith on everyone, even a stranger. They can believe, they can have faith even on a stranger. Children are very honest when they are small. Small children are very honest. They will tell you everything with full honesty. But as time goes by, they grow up. We grow up. We experience a lot of things. That changes our outlook. It brings changes in our personality. So, the nature that we had in our childhood, that innocence that we had in our childhood, we cannot get that innocence. We cannot bring back that innocence in our present life, because life has already taught us about many things. It has taught us that we cannot believe everybody, we cannot trust everybody, we have to be careful, we have to be conscious of our surrounding. So the carefree stage of our childhood life, we cannot relive those moments in our present time. So those moments appear as if, to us it feels as if it is like a dream. It appears as a dream. With the passage of time, things change, people change, many things change. People lose their innocence. They forget how they used to enjoy life with their friends when they were young. And at the present time, in the present time, no matter how hard we try, we cannot change what we do not like. Okay, so that makes us think that the time that we had when we were children was the best time, and it appears to us like a dream, as if we feel that the time that we spent in our childhood days was a dream.